those genetics well enough to know. What's up, bird nerds? How's everyone doing? Hopefully all your birds are doing good. We're hanging out here with, come here, buddy. You're okay. He's a little skittish because he hasn't sat down with me for a little bit, huh? Have you? You say hi to the camera. He's like, no, I'm just gonna hang out on you. He'll probably fly up over to the wire, and there he goes. That's all right. We've got Pink Lemonade. She's out here too. She'll probably land on my head at some point during this video, but I've had a lot of questions lately. People asking me what nesting material that they use. So I'm gonna give you guys the top 5 nesting materials that I prefer, that I've had great success with throughout multiple species of birds, mostly finches. Your hookbills, larger parrots, their nesting material may vary a little bit different, and they typically don't bring a whole lot of nesting material into their nests. They maybe chew up some of the wood, some bark, and have it as that, or bare bottom. But the finches, most species of finches, they like to build nests. Some build elaborate nests and others don't build very good nests at all, and some in between. So just wanted to share with you guys what my top 5 nesting materials are, and kind of give you some examples of how those are used throughout with my birds. All of this nesting material you can buy on Amazon. Some pet stores may have them, and even your local grocery stores for some of them. So, and I try to go as cheap as I possibly can, but also give the birds what they need, and try and help them be successful in the end as well. So I would probably say we'll rank it from number 5 up to my number 1 favorite nesting material. So number 5, and I'll throw a picture in here because I don't have any on hand. I would probably say would be shredded paper, shredded newspaper, or other shredded papers. And the reason why they're good is they're little small chunks, so it's easy for the birds to handle and take up. The only thing that I don't like about the newspaper is they can soil pretty quickly, so if they do get wet, they can tend to grow mold, things like that, especially if you're in a more humid environment. But birds do like them. They're easy for the birds to carry, lightweight, cheap. Obviously, you can get those from your home office if you have a paper shredder on hand, things like that. So that would probably be my number 5. And then looking at number 4, again, another cheap, easy option would be paper towel. So I just take one sheet of paper towel, just rip them into small pieces like this, and some of my birds, I can just throw it on the ground, or I have some nest holders like this. You put the nesting material in there, close the lid, and then it just latches up onto any of your wire, your cage wire, and then the birds can grab it and pull it through. So these are really nice. I use these for my canaries, and I'll also stash these out if I have nest boxes in my big flight cages. I'll hang these throughout and put different nesting material in there. And it's a good enhancement for the birds, and also helps them to scavenge a little bit more. Once they find it, then they go to town. They usually empty it within a day, especially if they're building nests. Sometimes they just like to play with it, and it's fun. So do that. Paper towel be number 4. Again, similar to the newspaper, it can get soiled pretty quick. So I usually, once my birds have laid one clutch, I usually will pull this out and then give them fresh material and let them start again. So paper towel, really good. I'd probably say my 3rd favorite nest material would be dried grass. So this I actually bought off Amazon. It was a big, huge bag. I'm almost out of it now, so I'll probably get me some more. Some of your pet stores may have this, kind of like hamster nesting material, things like this, but this is just dried grass. Make sure it's pesticide free. And if you've got long grass and weeds throughout, I've many times gone through into fields and things like that, clipped them, washed them, rinsed them, set them out, let them dry, and then give them to the birds. This is great nesting material for them. And it's a little bit long, so they can work with it. A lot of my finches, my parrot finches, some of my Golian finches, my shaft tails, they like to build some pretty elaborate nests with some domes, things like that, my star finches. So this is some good nesting material to kind of help them build some of that dome material there, so, or dome nest. So great material there. That would be my number 3. Any type of dried grass, long grass, you can, like I said, you can get this off Amazon. Probably some of your pet stores would have these, etc. Maybe for their hamsters, things like that. My number 2 nesting material, and I would probably say this is my number 1 nesting material for canaries, and then also number 2 nesting material for my other birds. And it's this, so don't confuse this with string. This isn't string, this is a fiber. Got really thin fiber material. The good thing about this is it doesn't fray and it does not wrap around the bird's toes. Because sometimes you have to be careful. If you have the little cotton strings, those will wrap around your baby's legs or toes, can cut them off, circulation, things like that. So make sure you don't get the cotton string. This is a fiber string. I bought this a long time ago off of Amazon, and I bought a huge stock of it. Again, I'm almost out of it, but this is what I use for my canaries. They love it, and they build some beautiful nests with this. Again, because it's this little short string of material, it's really easy for the birds to carry to their nests, and they build that little dome shape. Some of my other birds really like this as well. My Gouldian finches, they enjoy this nesting material. And I'll show you some of my canary nests that have built these. And again, I throw it in here. Whoops, I just dropped it. Throw it in here, put it in that, close it, and they're always pulling it out through there. So it's good enrichment for the birds. And I try to, especially my big cages, I try and hide these in places. So it's not just super easy for them to find. It makes my birds try to scavenge a little bit. And like I said, once they find it, usually it's emptied within a day. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'd say number 2 is this fiber. It's a white fiber string. And then my number 1 would be the cocoa fiber. Since COVID, it's been really hard to get a hold of this. They used to ship these in big, huge bulk packages that would last you forever. I did finally, just this last week actually, I found a vendor on Amazon, and I bought a 5-pound box of it, chuck full of fiber, cocoa fiber, and I think you could get up to a 10-pound box, maybe even 15 from that same vendor. So my birds love this, and I use that for any of them. Any of my birds will use this. Any of my finches, they go to town with this. Especially my parrot finches, they built some really beautiful nests with these. My shaft tails, my parson finches have built some great nests with these. Zebra finches, they'll use anything you put in there, but they like this as well. I would probably say if I put this mixed with all the rest of my nesting material, this would go first from my birds, and then they would pick the others. So really enjoy this. I haven't used this very much for my canaries. Like I said, this has been my top favorite for my canaries, or even the paper towel. But I'm sure that they would use this as well. It's clean, it's dry, it doesn't soil as easy, and I feel like this will go a lot further. I can do multiple clutches with these before I need to clean out the nest. So overall, great on cleanliness, easiness to use. It's really lightweight, the birds, and it's fun. I usually throw it in a big clump like this on the ground, or in those nesting material hangers, and it's fun. It gives the birds a lot of enrichment. They're always spending half the day pulling out the string and using it. It doesn't tangle around the bird's toes or feet, anything like that. So great material. I would say that is my number 1 nesting material to use. This is for finches. Again, a lot of your larger hookbills and parrots many times don't use nesting material, or they'll kind of chew up the nest box below them with some, some wood chips, things like that, a little bit more of a mulch type nest box, and then they lay their eggs. Whereas the finches, most varieties of species of finches will build nests. Now, the ones that I have to help build nests for, I have some society finches that I have to build a nest in there, or they'll just lay their eggs bare bottom on the nest box. I have had some Gouldian finches that haven't built great nests, and I've had others that built really good nests. So you're gonna have to watch out for them. Zebra finches, they'll build their nest as full as they can, depending on how much nesting material you give them. So the more nesting material you give them, the more they build their nest. So you gotta kind of find a balance with them. If they're laying eggs, take out the rest of the nesting material so they don't bury the eggs in building more of their nests. Like I said, the parrot finches, parson finches, shaft tail finches, they do a great job building nests and utilizing all the nest material. And lots of times they'll build it kind of in this little funnel shape where you can't see in, especially if your nest boxes don't open. You're just kind of waiting to see if the birds will, if they'll fledge something, because it's really hard to look in. They'll usually build it in and then it turns to the side, things like that. So anyways, let's show you some of the birds and some of the nesting material that they're using currently, and how it's benefited. So let's do it. Okay, first we'll start with the canary finches just because it's the easiest to view here. So you can see this is the third clutch here, and it's the same nesting material. And then once these chicks fledge, we'll pull out the nest and clean everything out, throw all the nest material away. But you can see here, they use this and outline their nest pan. Does a great job. They love this. This is probably their #1 choice of nesting material. You can also see up here, come here, Mikey. She as well uses that same white fiber to build their nest with. And then my Grolian finches, they have a combination of different nesting materials. So I did throw in some fiber in there, and they brought the fiber in and built it. If I gave them more fiber, they probably would build it up and over, and they would cover those eggs. So I might put in some more. I just stopped because she was building, or because she had already started laying. So I wanted to just make sure I didn't give more. But below the cocoa fiber is actually some of the, you can kind of see some of it, the paper towel shreds. So she threw all the, and the male threw all the paper towel shreds in there as well. And then looking at these guys, they as well have done the paper towels. They've done a great job at doing the paper towels there. She's got 4 eggs that she's been sitting on. You can see that she did find a strand of cocoa fiber. She brought that in there. Let's see if the eggs are warm. Yep, they are. She's sitting. So good news there. Hopefully we'll get hopefully some yellow babies there. And then same up here. She did a mix. So we've got both cocoa fiber and the paper towels there. So just a good use of the 3 different nesting materials here. Then if you look up here on my star finches, I have 4 nest boxes in here. Let's open this up so you can see better. I have 4 nest boxes, and they've decided to build all of their nests up on top. So they've taken the plastic plants and they've molded them up around their nests, and then they've actually built nests out of cocoa fiber. So they've got 1 on top of that nest box, and then 1 right there on top of that nest box. So we'll see how effective or efficient this is, and if they even have babies. But I did throw in, so I just throw the nest material, the cocoa fiber down here on the ground. They grab it, play with it, bring it up and build their nest. So they do a good job there. Hi, Pink Lemonade. She loves to just sit out here and hang with me. Such a great bird. I love the rosy borks. Come here, sweetie. And would recommend for anybody to buy a rosy bork. Tame or not tame, they really are great birds. And then last one, and this one might be a little trickier to see, just because they've recently started building. But I'm gonna open this up a little bit and zoom in. Hopefully they don't fly out. But you can see there, they've been really busy taking that cocoa fiber in there. And the male, he'll build a little dome. So there'll be a dome entrance in there that they'll fly into, and then it'll turn to the left and go all the way to the back, and that's where she'll have her eggs. So I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that this will be great. This is a true pair, and so I'm really hoping that they'll lay some eggs and get some babies fledged out for us. Fingers crossed, guys. Let me know any pointers or tips that you guys may have. I'm hoping that because they're here together by themselves in this little breeding cage, that they will be able to feel secluded enough to have some babies. I do have the nest boxes hanging off the edge, So if I need to peek, I can, just like this one, lift it up, look inside. They've got a wide variety of nesting material that they put in there, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so that's just some of the ways that my finches have utilized the nesting material that I've given them. Probably one other nesting material that I haven't mentioned that I do use for my borks. I do have some aspen shavings that I put into their nest boxes in the bottoms, and that's what I use for them, because they don't really bring nesting material into their nest. They mostly just do the aspen shavings. So let me know what questions you guys have. Appreciate you. Hopefully you guys' birds are nesting for you and you getting babies this year in the springtime, summertime, and that everything's going good. We'll see you guys.